Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. Please like and subscribe. So I'm excited about this video. We're going to do two comments from a viewer of mine. Same person, but they have some really good words and some good advice is going to be in this video. So he starts out saying that this is in response to my video about the mindset and impaired emotional capacity of the narcissist. And it goes into detail. So he says his ex acted a lot like an 8-year-old, and they were well into their 50s. He still felt like that couch cushion a lot of times. I give this analogy of kind of my couch cushion over time. I think it's just going to keep popping back up, but every little indent causes some damage to the fibers. And that's kind of what goes on in our relationship. The narcissist gives these little subtle dents, and eventually it just kind of destroys the fabric of our relationship. So he says it did not make sense that he would still beat himself up over something sorry, he could not control, and it was not his fault. So with our narcissist, we feel helpless. We tried everything we can, and we still feel that we're at fault. We've tried everything. We've tried so much that we're at a loss for what to do next. We ask for advice, they don't give it to us, how to compromise what they want, and it's a losing battle. So he tried really hard to make her happy, and it just couldn't be done. Narcissists are never happy no matter what we do, and he often found himself feeling like a victim, and he hates that. A lot of us, that's one of the things that we hate too, is we feel victimized, and we question, did we do something wrong, or are we really the victim? How did we not see the red flags? How could we have somebody use us like they did and just discard us? Because it's a really crappy feeling to feel used. It would feel a little different if we just went our separate ways and talked about it and broke up. But to feel like we're so discardable, so worthless to them is a really hard feeling. So sometimes he does have a few good days in a row, and then he finds himself struggling. And I think we can all relate to that. We're finally getting back on track, and something pops into our head again. We're ruminating again. And sometimes it takes him half a day to get his mindset straight. I've taken longer than that sometimes. So yeah, we waste a lot of times. And he goes on to say that's half a day. He could have been doing something constructive. So we're missing out on our lives. From today on, we waste a lot of time. I've wasted years in the ruminating or the funk of just walking around in a daze or just crying or no motivation. We lose a lot of our lives. I've lost years. So we got to snap out of it and refocus our brains. It's not something you can just snap out of it. It takes time. And I don't mean to discount how hard of a struggle it really is, because it is hard, especially how our mind just kind of floods it with memories that just out of nowhere, or we see something that reminds us of our ex. So that's half a day that, like I said, he could be doing something constructive. Sometimes he knows what triggers him, sometimes he doesn't. And that's the thing. We got to try to figure out what our triggers are. Are we tired? Do we not like the way somebody talks to us? Are we insecure about certain things? So we know how to react to it in the best way possible. But sometimes we don't know why we're reacting that way. I gave an analogy before. Sometimes like women on their periods, I like you just snap at people. You're like, that is not me. It's like, where's this coming from? And then we can kind of think, okay, like it's kind of the hormones in a sense. We should control it, but sometimes it's like, whoa, did that just happen? So when we're in these narcissistic relationships, it's kind of like, where'd that come from? That's not me. Why did I react that way? Something is triggering us. And we have to figure out what it is. So he can guess, he can only learn from this, make sure it never happens again. So we learn the red flags, we learn how to try our best not to be used again, not to be hurt, discarded like that, to invest in the right type of people. And he goes on to say the whole thing has been exhausting. And narcissistic abuse is exhausting. I've related it to the kids at school, how you're like, oh my gosh, I have tried to explain it. I've tried to be patient. I've tried this. And it, like, it gets really tiring. Same with a narcissist, because a narcissist has that childlike mentality. So he just has to remember to be grateful grateful for what he does have. And that's the thing, we instead of focusing on what we lost, we have to reconnect and appreciate the things that we do have. A place to stay, no matter how fancy it is, a job, hopefully, people who care about us, the family members that stuck by us, the friends that stuck by us, instead of focusing on the wrong people. And so he was sweet. He likes my blue eyes. I talked about my blue eyes. So the other one, he's thought about all these things a lot, and that's in response to what matters when dealing with a narcissist or a narcissist discard. So he's thought about it way, way too much. He goes on to say, stuck in the rumination. And that's where we just keep thinking and we're thinking what went wrong. And we know it could work if only this and only that. That's that bargaining stage that we're going through in the stages of grief. We're also in denial sometimes. Like the person wasn't all that bad. We got to be real with ourselves. Like if they can discard us, like we're dead. Mine gave me this, like reinforce that yes, we're planning a future together, and then instantly you're discarded and no explanation. You're freaking out. I'm thinking he's dead. I'm trying to be respectful and not reach out to his family, and because I hadn't met him yet, and they don't show us the same respect to the point where they can't even say, no, I'm alive, but leave me the fuck alone. So you're in this panic mode and it causes that brain damage. So he has come up with quite a few conclusions. He thinks it might help him move on and heal. He says that the most important thing is to stay in reality. Excellent wording. We have to stay in reality. This is our situation, whether it's forever or for now, or this is reality. And hopefully it's reality in the future, because we don't want to go back to being abused. Most people don't change, and very few can. Some can. Usually it's a life-altering event that might cause somebody to change, but just on regular days, people don't normally change unless something traumatic happens. So he said, do not accept their faults. They're all false reality. They're false reality. It's all going to change anyway, depending on what they want at the time. And that's the thing. Narcissists, you never know exactly what's up. It's they want this, then you work towards it, and then it's like, no, I don't want that. And so no matter what we do is exhausting. He says there is, hold on, do not accept their faults. There is no communication problem. They have communicated to you that you're an asshole. Some mine didn't really, well, I guess they treat you like shit. Second one didn't really treat me like I was an asshole, but the first one, like, really didn't treat me like I had any worth on this earth. So they're telling you once they discard you how worthless you are. He goes, it sucks that you even know that your ex is getting married. I'm not sure that's me. I don't know how or why you know that. I wish you did not. So yeah, I know what's going on. And he's kind of talking about me. I know what's up. But in a sense, we shouldn't be going stalking social media. I had a friend who let me know. That's how I know. He sent me a text. I'm not even Facebook friends with my ex. So that was just somebody sending it to me, a friend of mine. So that's how I know. But sometimes knowing less lets us lead a better life. We're not like, oh, why wasn't it me, or fucking asshole, or however we're going to react. We don't have anything to react to. So I guess those were some kind of words from him that he wished I didn't know, because it's something I have to deal with, something I have to feel and process. He goes, you should never ponder that thought. So he's like, just let it go. And he's sure the men that I've been with did not deserve me. So he's being sweet to me. They were just there to teach you some lessons. And I read something on Facebook. Maybe I can pull that up in a second. It's pretty deep. Yeah, I can pull it up. I know how to get it. So we had to learn some things the hard way. So stay tuned. It's a good little blurb. So he says, as long as we learn from them. For him, he had to learn that he has worth whether or not he's in a relationship. Some people start finding their identity in relationships, and we have to break free from that. We have to be whole within ourselves. Once we're whole in ourselves, we can bring ourselves into a healthy relationship. And we got to find somebody who's whole within themselves, not a missing piece. So his two ex-wives did not deserve him. So, he went through this crap. He has the self-esteem to know that he's a worthwhile person, and he has to learn to reach out a little higher on the tree. No more picking, just move my screen. No more picking rotten fruit off the ground just because it's easy to get to. So that's the other thing too. Narcissists will love to just go grab something that's the easiest. We have to be careful after the discard that we're not so lonely or hurting that we do a rebound or replacement, that we're actually looking for the person we're supposed to be with or somebody we're compatible with instead of just somebody. So he's like, yeah, he says it's going to have to be a pretty cool woman to get his attention. He's learning how to do this alone. And yeah, sometimes relearning life, doing things by ourselves can be difficult. And he goes, they would have to bring a lot more to the table than just a female body part. And women his age have a real hard time hiding the past. So I'm not sure if he means baggage. That's my guess, is that a lot of us do have baggage. The best prediction of future behavior is past behavior, which is true. Like I said, some people change. Like my dad got super religious when I was 8. So he kind of changed some things. So it could be a religious thing, or if somebody goes through a divorce or a severe accident or lost a job and house, there are some, or a death of a child, certain things will change somebody, or a scare where they might be going to jail because they did something wrong, that they change. But narcissists, they don't have that empathy. This is where it gets tricky. Some have some empathy, but it's the caring that matters. If they don't care to take the time, and it's a hard concept, but their mind is like a child. And I just came home from work, and oh boy, the mind of a child. Whoa. Yeah, there's a couple kids getting hit in the face today. Um, you know, one girl is a sweet girl, but she's stressed out over the art project, and she's like hyperventilating, crying. She's really upset about it, trying to calm her down, trying to reassure her. She's not processing it. Like, she's so upset. And it's really not that big of a deal. And she was so upset about it. And the narcissist, sometimes it's like, you know, it's a minute thing. And we try, like, babe, don't worry about it. It's cool. And they feel like now we hate them, or we think they're, less than. And you're like, no. Like with that little 5-year-old I had today, I didn't feel she was less than a good artist. She's learning. And the narcissist doesn't take praise the right way. They don't take redirection the right way. They don't take instructions the way I'm trying to give these kids instructions on what to do. The attention span of, catch a bubble. So they got to be quiet. That lasts for a little bit. Sit down. Like, they just go back as soon as you turn away. Sometimes they do it right in front of your face. Exactly what narcissists do. I was reading some stories, cheating right in front of the person. Others hide it, just like the kids throwing crayons today. They're doing it right in front of my face, and sometimes behind my face. Sometimes they're smart enough to wait, but they still get caught. And that's the thing too, is like, these kids think they're getting away with stuff. The things they do, they try to be sneaky. I'm 6'1". I can see the entire classroom. I can see up and over things, and they think they're getting away with things, and it's like so obvious, so obvious. A lot of times it's that obvious with our narcissist too. And he said, like I said, the best prediction is past behavior, shows us our future behavior. None of us should forget that karma is a real thing. Both of his exes are experiencing some really rough and nasty karma right now. And comment below on some of the karma that your narcissist has endured. Um, karma, when does it happen? Does it happen in our lifetime, in afterlife, if you believe in that? Some is we're not always going to see it. We're not always going to see it. And we have to be careful too. Like some karma uh could be related to what's important to them. And we're like, I wish they'd break up. It's not fair because a relationship's important to us. So that would be payback, right? Well, maybe a loss of a job would be more of a payback. And we're looking at they didn't get karma. They can just go get another job just like that. Maybe it's not one they liked. So karma isn't always what we think it would be. So both he's also grateful that none of this karma, none of this crap they're going through is his problem. So he's wiped his hands free of it. And that's a freeing feeling. It releases you're able to live your life when you're not bogged down with other people's problems. And sometimes we take on other people's problems out of love, but we shouldn't do it to be used. There's a difference. And he has a lot more work to do, mostly on how to forgive himself. He says he's stuck on that. And I think we can all go kind of relate, not all, hopefully some of you have gotten past that, but a lot of us have a hard time forgiving ourselves because of the reactive abuse that we did, or we're mad at ourselves. Why didn't I see the red flags? How could I be so stupid? You weren't stupid, you were fooled. And just like certain magicians that you see, they do these fantastic tricks to where you're like, I have no clue how they did that. And you can rack your brain and you'll never figure it out unless they tell you the secret. This is how I did it. And you're like, oh, is that easy? Like I'm starting to learn some magic tricks. It's like, oh, so stupid. It's so easy. But without the knowledge, the narcissist won't give us the knowledge. We're never going to know the true story. So it's like a magic trick that was done on us that seems so legit. A lot of magic tricks seem legit. So just remember, they fooled us through knowing the tricks. So he will just keep working on forgiving himself, realizing he has to let go of that feeling of fault because we tried everything. Nobody's perfect. Usually that's why two people work together to correct things. Just think about like rowing, I don't know, a canoe or a rowboat. You might compensate, but then your partner is supposed to help you out, and it works. But if one person's doing it, you're just going in circles. I think that's a pretty good analogy. And that's what we feel like. We're doing all the work. We're going in circle, 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 and we want to go straight. We want to go forward in life. That's the best analogy I've done. So let me get into, I want to read that to you guys, and then I'll let you go. Because like I said to you guys, get out there, do some things, enjoy life. And today I am going out of town to see one of my very best friends for a weekend trip. So, oh, it didn't share. I better share. It didn't share. Why? Let me pull this up. I really want you guys to hear this. So hang in. This will be just really quick that I pull this up. So it starts out, and it's not necessarily religious. It does start out with the dear God, but it's a concept I would like you guys to listen to. So you can take it as dear nature, dear God, dear inner self. But it starts out, and I'll do fingers. This is me. This is God. Hey, God. Hello. I'm falling apart. Can you put me back together? God says, I would rather not. Why? Because you aren't a puzzle. What about all the pieces of my life that are falling onto the ground? Let them stay there for a while. They fell off for a reason. Take some time and decide you need any of those pieces back. So, like I said, it's written as God, but take it what is you're comfortable with. But it's saying, take a moment. Do you really want this stuff back in your life? They say be careful what you wish for. Do you really want this back? So me, in the play says, you don't understand. I'm breaking down. No, you don't understand. You are breaking through. What you are feeling are just growing pains. You are shedding the things and the people in your life that are holding you back. You aren't falling apart. You are falling into place. Relax, take some deep breaths, and allow those things you don't need anymore to fall off of you. Quit holding on to the pieces that don't fit you anymore. Let them fall off. Let them go. Once I start doing that, what will be left of me? And a lot of us get scared on that. Like, I'm just going to be a shell of a person. So this God says, only the very best pieces of you. That's what's going to be left. The very best of you. I'm scared of changing. I keep telling you, you aren't changing. You are becoming. Becoming who? Becoming who I created you to be, a person of light and love and charity and hope and courage and joy and mercy and grace and compassion. I made you for more than the shallow pieces you have decided to adorn yourself with that you clung to with such greed and fear. Let those things fall off of you. I love you. Don't change. Become who I made you to be. So even if that's your inner spirit or your godlike spirit, it continues on. I'm going to keep telling you this until you remember it. Huh. Is that kind of like the rumination? I'm like, we're thinking about things. We need to process it. Maybe we would be better off. Maybe, what were the words I used? Shallow pieces. Our love was shallow, not from us, but what we adorned ourselves with was empty. And we deserve more than that. There goes another piece. Yep, let it be. So I'm not broken? Of course not. But you are breaking like the dawn. It's a new day. Become. So who wrote this was a short writer named John Rodell, Roedel. And I just think it has some really good words where, hey guys, we're wanting to put crap back into our lives. And we're meant to set that free. It's kind of like a spring cleaning to where, have you guys done that? After you spring clean, it feels like your house is bigger and it's brighter and healthier and more welcoming. We're spring cleaning ourselves. We're getting rid of the things that are toxic to us. And we're able to invite people into our space. So please like and subscribe. One-on-ones are available. And I'll see you in the next video. I love the topic requests and comments. See you soon.